morning, good 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 fucking morning. We don't scream in the morning. It's late. There's people sleeping. It's early. There's people sleeping in the house. Flood, what's good, baby? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Good fucking morning, man. Wait, let me turn this light off. Hold on. Yeah, I'll reveal it. I'll reveal it. I was wondering why I look weird, chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's good, baby? All right, look. Market open in 6 minutes. It was a crazy weekend. There is, secret entrance. The morning people get it. If you're watching on Twitter or YouTube and you would like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. Bro, look like a suburban dad. Look, we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to do market open. I'm going to be live for about an hour. I'm going to get off. We'll be here for the fireworks. And I will be streaming at my normal time, 3:30 EST. I'll be back for the longer stream. We have a lot to talk about in the longer stream. But this is going to be an eventful market open. So this weekend was crazy, man. I went on Saturday night, which is no good. We're done with that. But Friday I was focused. Saturday during the day I was focused. And then yesterday things fucking escalated. Obviously the biggest news was oil went fucking crazy. On TradingView, Brent got as high as 114. Crude, I think the exact same. It has it here marked at 119 on crude. Yesterday, it was going fucking ridiculous. And Hyperliquid, once again, I'm just going to say, is showing itself as imperative tech if you're in finance. Hyperliquid is just setting the stage as if you manage big money, if you manage any money, any positions, and you're not in Hyperliquid, you're just behind. It's pretty crazy. I'm looking at the crude pair on Hyperliquid right now, $1.1 billion 24-hour volume. Brent has done 170 mil. I wonder what gold is. What's gold? It's a bad pair. What's the most liquid? Gold's in like 100 mil. XYZ pair. Silver is done like 400 mil. It's pretty gross. It was like when metals were going fucking stupid. Hyperliquid was doing like a bill on silver and gold every day. And then now it's oil. And it's just happening on oil as well. And you got to say, like, let me add, do I have hype on this? Let me add hype to our little, I fixed my watch list on TradingView. So let's go. Hyperliquid. Yeah, 32.16. I put this in my Telegram chat yesterday and I'm like, dude, I feel like Hyperliquid's too cheap. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like Hyperliquid is too cheap and it's showing its fucking value every single day. Also, Bitcoin's kind of chatting right now, but it's just Sailor the Cocaine Bear. Shout out Kevin Durant and KD Files. Just ripping. I think his average was like a B, couple Bs at 70 and some change. It's literally just, there's one Bitcoin buyer in the world right now. It's just Sailor. And everything else is ready to fall off a cliff. I think it's going to be an electric open. Futures yesterday were disgusting. SPY looks disgusting. We kind of got bailed out by this announcement, which we'll talk about right after open. G7 to discuss a joint lease of emergency oil reserves. I believe all of G7 has 1.2 billion barrels in the reserve, and global oil consumption is 100 million a day. Yeah, not that much. So look, we have 3 minutes until market open. I'm gonna be live for like an hour, and I think it's gonna be a eventful one. Let's do a roll call real quick. Morning roll call, man. Who's here? Flood, what's good? Demon Hunter, what's good? Pre-rich intern, what's good? Malcolm, what's good? Teo, what's good? One positive dude, what's good? Yeah, China has 1.2 themselves, but that's not our oil. D-Fluge, what's good? Senator, what's good? No Mix, what's good? Flow with the 100 gifted. That brother's up on oil or what? He's up on oil or what? Shout out you, Flood. Much love, my brother. And Sparky, what's good? Gunk, Tulip King, the whole squad's in here. What's good? What's good? Caleb, what's good? No Viblet, man. That's crazy. What's good? 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 DeFluge, what's good? Dina, the whole squad. Yeah, Flood's still in the hole, like 3 bands on dinner. So get ready to learn fucking Twitch subs and that black card. I am still in Palantir. Yes, I am. I'm still in Palantir from about. I'm in Palantir from like 140 and some change. I think 139 is my entry on this screen. I'm in Palantir and I just opened a little crude long because fuck it, we're covering this shit all day. I'm a commodities trader and this announcement feels kind of ridiculous. So I'll talk about it in a minute. We have a bunch of stuff to play once market opens. Pomp was just on CNBC talking about why this shit is bullish. And yeah, we have a lot to cover. So market opens in 1 minute. Hey, who has positions open? Who has positions open? What are y'all in? What are y'all in? What are y'all buying? What are y'all selling? What are y'all holding? If you're watching on Twitter and you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. If you're on YouTube and you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. I don't read the Twitch chat. I don't read the YouTube chat. I don't read anything else. But what are y'all in? What are y'all in? I'm in Bitcoin and Palantir, a little bit of a crude long on Hyperliquid. You're in HIMS. Yes, I'm excited for HIMS. They just had that Nova partnership or whatever. I can finally take the hair pills. Finally, I can take the hair pills. Let's fucking go, man. We open in 1 minute. Chat, green or red open? What do we think? Green or red open? Green or red open? Battle along Palantir after market open sell-off. threadguy off a bean is crazy. Level 11 hype train. I'm not even sure I know what that means. But I kind of feel like we're going to get this little like fake green bounce on this G7 news. But we're going to start covering it. It feels pretty weak. Alex Ova with the gifted. I'm with my wife right now after market opens. You better hope that shit opens green, my brother. All right, let's go. We're live. We're live. Big gap down on SPY. 666 on SPY. I'm kind of terrified of this. I'm not going to lie. All right, let's see what we got. Palantir opens green. Defense opens green as hell. Let's see. Big tech. Nvidia's red. Adobe after Michael Burry. No Morning Coffee, I already drank it. Adobe after Michael Burry. He's printing on SAS at a big 2.6 is crazy. SanDisk is red. Apple is red. Salesforce, let's delete this and clean it off. Is green. Netflix red. Microsoft is red. Oracle really red. Micron really red. Broadcom really red. Meta's red. Amazon down. Google's down 1%. Tesla down 1.2. Yeah, the revenge of SAS, but big tech, no good. This is my favorite one right now. I almost sold it over the weekend, but I was like, fuck it. I don't know. Tensions are just getting worse. We're going to just sit in this and see what happens with Palantir, and it's been doing really, really, really well. Energy here, Exxon is basically flat. Chevron up 0.28. Crude 99, Brent 98. Let's see what else. Let's let it play out for a minute. We'll do some headlines. Hyperliquid is fucking candling right now. Zcash got a candle as well, which is crazy. Zcash got a candle. And Bitcoin is still chatting up, but it feels like it's just Sailor. This is what's scary, though, is this SPY chart. Look at this fucking SPY chart, bro. It looks like it wants to actually get taken out back, shot in the head, and use the whole chamber. Look at this. Scary. This is scary. I can't lie. This is scary, chat. This is scary. Someone said, imagine if you longed rice and soybeans. You got 15% on each, ZR and ZS. ZR is rice futures. Jesus. Rice futures on the daily is ripping. What's ZS? Soybean futures. Oh my God. Soybean futures gapping up. Soybean futures absolutely gapping up. But yeah, we're chilling here at 666 on SPY. Strategy is up 2.5% and actually looks pretty good. Hood down like 1%. What else we got here? HIMS, holy candle on HIMS. Up 36%, bro. Wow. Since close on Friday. Up 36%. Chat, I think I can take the fucking hair pills finally. Wow. What a fucking move on HIMS, bro. It still looks terrible on the long high time frame here, but it's kind of what you want to see when you're taking their prescriptions. Flood, you on the HIMS? Be honest. Visa's down 1%. Lulu's down 3%. Nvidia's going green on the day, which is awesome. TSM down 1%. Coinbase up 2%. Rivian's up 2%. Roblox is flat. The block. Shout out Jack Dorsey. No, dude. Shout out Jack Dorsey is down 1% today. PayPal's down 2%. Intel's down 2. Oracle's down 2. SoFi's down 4. This thing has been getting crushed. Look at the SoFi chart, chat. This thing has been getting absolutely fucking murdered. SoFi's down 4. Circle. Monster, bro. Absolute fucking movie. Chat, what are you guys in? What are you guys in? Circle's a movie. Look at this chart, dude. Look at this fucking chart. It's crazy. Everything we could have ever wanted with crypto is happening, but on-chain is a complete fucking ghost town. Look at this. Life without Wintermute owning 50% of supply. Circle's up 8% on the day. Circle's also up 120% from the bottom on early February. That's crazy. Circle's a monster. Chad, does anyone hold it? I have none. But this has been a fun one to follow. I'm trying to get Jeremy Allaire on the stream. Open Doors down 3. Revenge of SAS, man. Figma's up 2.3. Let's add IGV to this. See how SAS ETF is doing. Down like 1%. Choo-choo. Absolutely ripping. Let's see where we at on. Wow. Hype candle. Wow. Hype candle. Wow. Hype candle. Chat, we're about to get another 100 subs today. Hype candle is crazy. Wow. Call my bitch texting crypto Ethan. That's not your bitch anymore, bro. Bitcoin 69 as well. I'm not gonna lie, this Bitcoin chart starts to look interesting on the daily. If we get back out of this range, 71 starts to look interesting again. Considering that gold is down 1.25% right now, but looking pretty decent. How does Solana look? I should add Solana to this. Let's see. Solana is 84. Not good. I don't like this chart. No. Give me like a Binance chart. Give me a Binance chart. Give me a Binance chart. Flood with 100 gifted. That's how you know Hyperliquid is ripping. Solana looks terrible. Solana looks terrible. Flood with the 100 gifted. Look at this. Look at this. He wants to see the Hyperliquid chart again. Fine. We'll show it again. I think I might be getting married. Hyperliquid is 32.5. Someone timestamp when I sent that in my Telegram yesterday. I guess I should have fucking longed it. Hyperliquid gross right now. Let's go back. Where's SPY? How we doing on SPY? Crude 99, Brent 97. So we sort of stabilized for the weekend. It looks like it wants to fill this gap on this G7 news. Bro, why did our streaks reset? Because I streamed over the weekend, G, my fault. I streamed over the weekend. Let's see. Palantir goes red. Defense goes red across the board. We have like 8 minutes before this first 15-minute candle closes, and then we are going to rip some news for the day. Yeah, Palantir 156. Where's SPY? I gotta get used to this new. Yeah. Ugh. Can hear base 16Z scream from across the pond, man. 665 on SPY and not looking good. Let's go shorter time frame, 5 minute. Yeah. Scared. The market's scared, man. We were doing Friday close. We were live, and we were just watching people shoot risk, just slam sells, limit sells, market sell off of everything risk. Russell's up. People are just buying fucking shitters. Market sell into close. This is not looking good here. It's look, I don't want to do the whole relative performance, relative strength on BTC, but SPY candling red, big tech. Let's see. Big tech candling red. Nvidia just retraced the whole move, going red, and here we are. BTC up 5%. Hyperliquid up 6%. Even Solana's up 4%. Zcash is up 8%. Gold down 1.3%. Kind of a movie. All right, let's pop into some news, and we can see. Yeah, this is chemicals, by the way. Shout out Tulip King. Tulip King, you're a long Dow, huh? Up 5.3% on the day. Crazy, up 5.3% on the day. Braxton, which is a new one for me, up 1.5%, and LYB up 1%. Monday morning streams are a vibe. We got threadguy in the office. Yeah, we're gonna start doing this at least on like Monday, Tuesday. I think Friday open is pretty fucking boring, but this Monday one's electric. What's the DNF said wheat? No. Seems like we're heading into periods of extended vol. We're in a period right now of literal canon event happening every single day, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it. The entire world is gonna trade like crypto. We're in the base 16Z, and you are going to enjoy it because this is what we do. He had a good tweet about it. Let me see. He basically tweets this every single day. It's my favorite bit. And oil prices are soaring, but a whale is heavily shorting crude oil. A newly created wallet opened a 5x short for $10.2 million in the past 2 hours. Hyperliquid. If you don't think trad markets have become shitcoins, read this tweet, and then I have a really good one for you. Hood feels very obvious buy IMO. We'll look at Hood in a second. This is a really funny tweet. Here it is. This guy, Zoomer Anon, tweeted February 28th, 2024. Seeing crypto apes with hundreds of millions in capital unleashed on trad markets once this cycle is done will be a sight to behold. Imagine a guy used to be trading cream, shout out Machi, on leverage, pigeonholed by a crypto bear market into trading oil futures. February 28th, 2024. And here we are, and they are just ripping oil futures. Damn, I want to see where this SPY candle closes. 664. Oh, man, 664. Not good. What does the daily look like? Not good. Not good. I mean, you know Trump's watching the 1 minute here, and he's got levers to pull, right? I think the idea that we can't pull a lever here is overblown, but it doesn't look like he wants to pull the lever. And so the announcement that came out I guess like yesterday at 5 p.m. before the G7 announcement is we're at like 120 Brent going crazy. Get some sleep. You look like you're going insane, brother. This is the markets we trade. There is no sleep. Some things in life are more important than your health. Very few, and one of them is the market, my friend. So Trump comes out, yes. So okay, so at 5:54, god damn, at 5:54 yesterday, Brent was trading at we're trading like way up here, 114 and some change, 115 in the 110s. And Trump comes out. And so everyone's panicking, right? I'm listening to these live streams. Everyone's fucking panicking. And Trump comes out and he makes this announcement on Truth Social, which is still my favorite bit. It's like, brother, get on Twitter and fucking make a tweet. We're not rotating to Truth Social. And he tweets, quote, short-term oil prices, which will drop rapidly when the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat is over, is a very small price to pay for the USA and world safety and peace. Only fools would think differently. President DJT. And so everyone's freaking out, and he comes out and basically says, this is going to keep going, right? He comes out and he says, this is going to keep going, and this is a small price to pay for what we will gain as a country. And there's this other announcement. We'll come back to that in a sec. I wanted that Pete Hegseth. Here it is. And so this was 8 p.m. last night, I think before the G7 announcement as well. Pete Hegseth comes out, who, look, I've flipped on Hegseth. Guy's a nut, but I like him. And Defense Secretary, War Secretary Pete Hegseth says President Trump's demand for Iran's, quote, unconditional surrender will happen whether Iran wants to admit it or not, whether their pride lets them say it out loud or not. And so the question becomes, what would it actually take for an unconditional surrender is very unclear at this point. Let's market check and we'll come back. Where are we at? Bitcoin 68 is chatting, bro. It's chatting. It's chatting. I can't lie. Palantir down 1% now. Retrace the whole candle. We're about to get our first 15-minute close here. Look at this. Just, ugh. God, ugh. SPY 663 and not going the right way, man. Oof, God. We still getting a 4 p.m. stream. It's 3:30 and you're getting it, brother. Yes, you are. Look at this. Nothing ever happens. Bros are in absolute shambles here. SPY down 1.3 on the day. The Qs try to go green. That's down 1.2 on the day. Russell is the only thing that's green. Let's see. Let's check in on Nvidia. Brutal candle here. Brutal candle on Nvidia. Brutal candle on Nvidia. Adobe, nasty one as well. Look at this. 5 minute. Open. Leg. Amazon down 2. Tesla down 3.3. Google down 1. AMD down 1. Intel down 1.4. It's fighting for its life. Oracle's down almost 4. Apple's down 1. SanDisk fighting for its life. And coins are just fucking candling. Wow. I don't want to do the relative performance thing because Sailor comes out and announces where's the Sailor? I guess strategy. Does he tweet it? Yeah, he tweets everyone. Yeah, so strategy has acquired 18,000 BTC for 1.3. This STRC is allowing him to bid again at 70.1K Bitcoin. But that kind of means the Sailor bid is done, right? Unless he's buying right now. Holy fuck. Wow. I'm not going to lie, bros. We get back above 70 strong, and this chart starts to look... I have all these bullshit lines on here, but back above 70, this chart starts to look a little bit ridiculous. And Flood's spot buys start to look pretty. Bitcoin 69.2, and it looks like it wants more. What's the update on Dubai's stock market? Are we still closed? Also, Dubai real estate and DNAP and Tulip King. Where are we at with that? We were watching that chart pretty close, and we stopped. Hyperliquid wants higher. Hyperliquid wants higher. Solana looks terrible, but Zcash is just candling as well. Zcash is candling. Is there anything else crypto worth looking at? I have an alts chart somewhere. Let's see. God, we're looking at alts right now. Lighter, down 1.5, like clockwork. Like absolute clockwork, lighter down. Tau is up. Chiefing's and Jason Calacanis. Ticker. Oh, where's Pump? Where's Pump? Pump, Jesus. Brain is fried. Pump, we are up 3% right now. DFM is Dubai real estate. I didn't even know that was a ticker. Whoa, God. Dubai financial market. Oof. Packed him up in an HIP3 spliff. Look at EMAR. What is that? EMAR property. What is this? Ugh. Real estate development. Dubai. Barachain. Why do I have Barachain even on here? First 15-minute close. Let's see where SPY closed. 664. It's fighting a little bit. Let's see where we're at with oil. Crude 97, Brent 98.9. And so we've had a huge retrace. It basically retraced the entire move that went crazy last night. So I actually longed crude on HL this morning, and at about 99. It's trading at 97.6 here on Hyperliquid. It's trading at 99. I longed at about 100 just to like try this shit out. And so, okay, so here was the escalation that happened over the weekend. Is Israel / US blew up these oil deposits in Iran. And I mean, look at this scene. It's horrific. I mean, this is apocalyptic. This looks... I don't even think CGI could do this in a movie. It's apocalyptic for certain here. And so oil reserves and oil plants and oil infra across the Middle East, Iran is bombing GCC's oil infra. We're bombing Iran's oil infra. And Kuwait is stopped producing because they can't store it. Everyone's bombing everyone's oil in the Strait of Hormuz, which is 20% of global oil exports and imports is, I guess, exports is still closed and nobody is getting through. And so on the back end of that, Brent and crude oil generally starts fucking piss ripping. What do I do with my headphones? Headphones. Oh, on my neck. And so Trump comes out. So Hegseth comes out and says, we're going to go until Iran surrenders unconditionally. Trump comes out and says, oil ripping is just part of the price that we have to pay. I'm completely new to covering geopolitics, but since Monday, yesterday, when we watched the first professor video, it felt like the whole way, yeah, this is going to be a bigger deal than 72-hour ending. And so this is Fox News today, or yes, this is Fox News yesterday. I'll read the new announcement in a minute that candled it down, but this is Fox News yesterday.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers. We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short-term.
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 Short-term, short-term, and long-term.
Short-term blip. Hopefully this is a short-term pain.
Short-term.
Okay, we get the idea, right? And so the basic, like the reason I play that video is for no purpose other than to say it feels like the stage is being set for this to just continue to escalate. And there's no real de-escalation plan and process. And what it would actually take for an Iran unconditional surrender is extremely unclear. Short Bitcoin, I don't think that's a good idea, my friend. Where are we at before I say what I wanted to say? 69. I don't know if that's a great idea. I wouldn't be shorting Bitcoin here. There's better stuff to short than BTC right here. Before I move on, SPY 663 and losing it. Wow. Leg down. Yeah, wow. So late last night, we had an announcement that basically we could look on the chart, like just for context here. Retraced the whole parabolic move. Here's the 4-hour. Look at this. Crazy gap up candle and then looking to fill the gap. And so the announcement was breaking G7 to discuss joint release of emergency oil reserves. G7 finance ministers will hold an emergency call on Monday at 8:30 a.m. So the call, I don't know if it's over. Is it over? We have comms on this. DNAP, Tulip King, let me know if it's over. I haven't seen a headline, but I also haven't had Twitter open, to be fair. Emergency call Monday at 8:30 a.m. today, New York time, with IEA Executive Director Faith Birol to discuss a possible joint petroleum release from strategic reserves to address soaring oil prices amid the Iran war. According to sources, 3 G7 countries, including the U.S., support the plan. The 32 IEA members maintain reserves for oil price crises. And some U.S. officials consider releasing 300 to 400 million barrels, equivalent to 25 to 30% of the 1.2 billion barrel reserve as appropriate. And so that was the announcement, but it very much feels like a Band-Aid. Because so what I read is that the U.S. has about 300 to 400 million barrels of oil. G7 as a conglomerate has like 1.2 billion total. And the world consumes about 100 million barrels a day. I think the Strait accounts for 20% of that, so about 20 million barrels a day. And so there's like 15 to 20 days worth of oil for global consumption in the entirety of this G7 reserve. Like there's not a lot at all. At all. Like that is a Band-Aid of all Band-Aids. And it feels like, look, market was desperate to react on good news or any news whatsoever other than short-term pain for long-term gain. And so announcement comes out. We candle red here on oil. Let's see where we're at on hyperliquid. Yeah, CL's at 99. Quick check-in on SPY. Ooh, not great. And so it feels like a very Band-Aid solution. I actually longed hyperliquid. I woke up this morning, I longed crude on hyperliquid at 100 because, I mean, bro, we just don't have any fucking oil. We don't have any oil, and we just watched this Trump or this Fox video compilation, and the messaging being pushed is short-term pain, short-term pain, short-term pain. And so here's a couple coverage posts on this. I guess we can watch this. Let's see.
Early Asia morning, you saw prices surge 25%, oil Brent nearing $120. And then there was an FT report just out in the last hour or so saying that G7 members will be meeting later today, early U.S. morning, to discuss a potential joint release of the strategic oil reserves. And then prices kind of tapered a bit. You're still above $100 a barrel, which is huge, considering where we were just last week, around $70 for Brent. But I think that's what the market has been waiting for, right? They have been, when you hear the U.S. Energy Secretary talking about there's enough oil, it's not so much that, there are some countries that aren't getting the deliveries that they need, especially in South and Southeast Asia. But in terms of oil in reserve and in strategic reserve, that's correct. There is a lot of oil available. It's just whether or not those strategic reserves would be tapped. And we heard last week Japanese refiners were pushing their government to try to
isn't that much.
Go forward with tapping some of their reserves. But this sort of action by governments works best in chorus, which is why it makes sense that the FT is reporting that they're going to be discussing this. The U.S., according to the FT, is for that plan, along with 2 other G7 members, and we'll find out more later as that comes closer. But I think there is worry in the market that there is no end in sight for the what's happening in the Middle East.
This is the concern. There is no end in sight, and we don't have that much fucking oil. And so let's see. G7 probably made the biggest mistake in energy market history. This morning, G7 finance ministers are holding an emergency call to discuss dumping 300 to 400 million barrels from strategic petroleum reserves onto the market. They think this will fix 108 oil, but it won't. Let's do the math on CNBC. Let's do the math that nobody on CNBC will do for you. Global oil consumption runs approximately 103 million barrels per day. The Strait of Hormuz closure has removed somewhere between 4 to 6 million per day. It's happening right now. Iraq has already cut 1.5 million barrels per day because it ran out of storage. Kuwait is cutting production. Bahrain declared force majeure. Tough one. So take 400 million barrels, the high end of what they're discussing, and divide it by the daily supply gap. You get roughly 67 to 100 days of coverage. 2 to 3 months. That's it. That's the whole plan. And then what? You can't release reserves you've already released. The market figured this out in about 4 hours. Oil spiked 20% overnight. The G7 leak hit the wires and prices pulled back, still up 12 to 50%, down a little bit more right now. Here's the part that should terrify you. The U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve sits at roughly 411 million barrels. That sounds like a lot until you remember it had 727 million at its peak. The previous Biden admin, drained 180 million barrels in 2022 to fight $90 oil with Russia, Ukraine. That brought consumers about 18 cents per gallon of relief. This disruption is structurally larger, geographically more dangerous, and has no visible end date. In 2022, the threat was Russian supply being redirected. Tankers still moved, alternatives existed, the strait was still open. Today, the world's most critical energy choke point is effectively closed, and that's not by a naval blockade, but by insurance companies refusing to cover ships transiting it. So yeah, there really is no end in sight, and the math on this is kind of ugly. And so it felt like the market was really desperate for any type of headline to talk people off of a cliff as it relates to oil. Let's look at this thing Tulip King just sent. We'll see what comes out. I'm sure there will be some volatility based off what comes out when they actually make the announcement today. Iraq's Kirkuk crude oil flows to Turkey's port stopped on March 9th. Oil that doesn't even come out of Hormuz is stopping because of the attacks in Iraq. Yeah, it's this guy, by the way, I need to check my DMs, but I think we're going to get him on stream today. Maybe a different day this week. He told me he would come on, though. He's probably like the shipping oil expert. And so we'll see what happens. Let's check on the market here. By the way, if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube and you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy is where we are. 99 crude on Hyperliquid. Let's check in. SPY 663 is pretty ugly. Q's down 1.1%. The Dow is down 1.4%. Even industrials are getting hit. Everything energy here is green. Let's check it on crypto. Bitcoin strong. Bitcoin is strong. Hype is fucking strong. Wow, we missed a candle. Holy fuck, who was that? Flood with a fat finger? Wow. Zcash is ripping. Beautiful to see that. Even Monero is green. And then gold down 1.8. I don't care what it takes to get Bitcoin up. Just keep it up. Defense here. Palantir is weak. Everything's weak. Raytheon's weak. Lockheed wants to go. Nice little bounce, though. NVIDIA wants to go green on the day. Down 0.4 now. SanDisk is kind of candling. Apple still red. But okay, a little flip here on tech. Microsoft, the green candle. Amazon's horrible, though. Tesla's down 3 now. Extending. Google down 1.2. And we look, he should be slamming hype. I sent this message in the in our Telegram yesterday. At what time? What time did I send it? Feels like Hyperliquid should be higher at 612. I guess it doesn't fucking matter because I didn't buy any. But yeah, it was like right around here, 30, 31. I'm like, it just feels important, like it's showing its importance in the world again. SPY with a nice little candle here. So okay, so Amit made a post. Crude oil was pushing 120 a barrel last night. Then a headline by the Financial Times showed that G7 countries are thinking of unleashing 400 million of the 1.8. This number's higher. Barrels of oil they have in their collective reserves. Crude is now struggling to stay above $100 a barrel. Not a long-term solution, but in the short term, it is calming markets down. Futures recovered 50% of their losses. The question now becomes, what other strategies are in place to keep oil coming down? Or will we have to accept oil being at these levels for the time being? We'll come back to some of these. Man, the Bitcoin thing is impressive to me. I'm not going to lie. Even if it's just Sailor, it is still pretty impressive the way they're twapping it right now. Yeah, look at this. Now over $1 billion in pre-market, weekend volumes, and over 175 in OI. Hindsight, it will be obvious. Flood bull post. Flood just ripping bull posts. Where's Hims at? Let's see. Yeah. Still up 38%. It's gross. And Hood. Flood was talking about Hood. Nice little candle on Hood there. All right, let's check in. Let's keep going on some of these headlines. So, okay, this guy JH, who I really like, I want to get him on stream as well. Pulled this tweet out and said, it's a long one, but I agree that SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve release is necessary. You just have to do it to slow down demand destruction even a little bit. But if they're considering a coordinated release of 300 to 400 million barrels like the FT reported, all that volume isn't hitting the market instantly. After the U.S. decided to release 180 million in 22, the most they ever released in a single week was 8.4 million. We've got to the U.S. holds most among Western nations. Anything crazy? In theory, the max release capacity of the U.S. is estimated to be 4 million barrels a day. In reality, there were several physical constraints that kept the weekly max at 8.4 billion. Nothing crazy in this. It'll just let out a little steam, but it will still be hot. Now, this Calvin is probably the most we are in a fucking situation. Nobody understands how crazy it is. Guy on Twitter says the releasing reserves in oil hasn't even hit a new all-time high yet during the most severe energy crisis in history. I guess we can watch the Pomp video. Fuck it. You want to watch a Pomp video, chat? Be honest, yes or no? He went on CNBC to talk about, nice candle on Hood here, to talk about why he thinks it's not bearish what's happening right now. Wow, Bitcoin is fighting for its life. It's working. Cool, we can watch a Pomp video. Gandhi got exploited, really. That's actually a big deal. You should look at that in a second. How's Palantir? fighting. SPY. Okay, cool. Nice couple little 5-minute candles here on SPY. Let's watch the pump video because why not?
Founder and CEO of Professional Capital Management.
I don't exactly think he's Signal, but he fucking went on CNBC.
Joining me now, Anthony Pompliano, founder and CEO of Professional Capital Management. On set, great to have you. So much to talk to you about. But of course, we are going to start with Bitcoin because it has been outperforming over the past week.
Well, I think there's a couple of different things, right? One is Bitcoin is a resilient asset that is really serving as global insurance. And so anytime that there's chaos in the world, there's going to be people who run to Bitcoin. Gold also serves as that use case, but I think that more and more people, especially as young people get a little bit older, they get a little bit more money, they start to go and they buy Bitcoin in times of uncertainty. And I think institutions also, what is misunderstood is that in the institutions, the young people 10 years ago, they're now rising to the role of the portfolio manager or the CIO. And so they also will start to continue to add Bitcoin into their portfolios as well. And I think you see Bitcoin performing pretty well given what's happening right now.
And yet, gold has not performed particularly well over the past, call it, week.
Well, if you think about what's gone on over the last year or so, pretty much everyone who's going to sell Bitcoin off of the highs has pretty much already sold, right? Everyone who's going to buy gold has pretty much bought. And so I think that you saw two assets that diverged. And these two assets, they serve as a store of
I hate that take. Everyone who's going to buy is already bought. It's like, yeah, I guess. According to whom?
value. And I know that the gold bugs have been doing their victory lap for the last year. I like gold. I don't hate gold in any way. But I do think that Bitcoin is a 10x better asset in terms of it is more divisible. It is more mobile. It is much more resilient than gold. And so I think that over time, what you're going to see is you're going to see more and more capital flow into Bitcoin. And look at the ETFs. What took gold's ETF 15 years to do, Bitcoin has done in less than 2. And so I think that just naturally you're seeing the rapid adoption of an asset. Now, it is going to be volatile, and I think people love to celebrate when Bitcoin falls. It's down 50%. Well, if that was the bottom of the bear market is just a 50% drawdown, then it's the best performing bear market of all time in Bitcoin's history. And so let's see what happens.
Interesting. Do you think then, in light of that and what we're seeing with Operation Epic Fury, that Bitcoin is shifting gears in terms of how it's trading? Because the conversation had been that this is, you know, a risk-on asset. It's trading as such. It's a liquidity indicator. It's not a store of value. Do you think that this is an inflection point?
Well, I think there is a very, very big misunderstanding when it comes to what's happening in the global economy right now, and specifically with inflation domestically. If you look at inflation expectations, people have been saying that we were going to get sky-high inflation because of the tariffs. And I was very loud about the fact that we were not going to get that. The tariffs were going to be deflationary. Now, if you look over the last year or so, what we've seen is tariffs are deflationary, deportations are deflationary, AI is deflationary, and robotics are deflationary. And we see this happening throughout the economy. And so the big risk right now is still deflation, not inflation in the U.S. economy. And I understand that oil has spiked in the short term, and people are going to freak out about that. This has been going on for 8 days, this Operation Epic Fury. And so let's say that it ends in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It would have been a short-term impact to oil prices and the deflationary nature of what's happening.
Oil's candling right now. Crude's at 101 on hyperliquid. I'm green.
In the economy is still a much, much bigger concern than a short-term oil impact. And I think what people also forget is that take housing as an example. The government
is there news? This thing's fucking ripping volume right now. Is there news?
Is still saying that housing prices are growing. Trueflation, which is a real-time measurement, is saying that housing is in deflation already. It's down 1.5% over the last 12 months. If that is true, housing is a much bigger input into the CPI calculation than, let's say, oil or energy is around 5%.
There is fucking news. Oh, it's about a candle, huh? Breaking. G7 not there yet on releasing oil stockpiles. Oh, brother. They're about to rip this thing, huh? SPY, red candle, off a cliff. Wow, 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 wow. Dude, I could feel it. I could fucking, I don't know. Wow, SPY off a cliff. Brent, candling on this news. Crude, candling on this news. Wow, 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 wow. Holy fuck. Not great. Man, not great, not great. SPY's going to get destroyed. That was our Band-Aid. What the fuck just happened? This just happened. G7 not there yet on releasing oil stockpiles. This is why we came down. This is why price came down. They made this announcement. Not sure I understand why they're not going to release it. Yeah. They think it ends quickly. Maybe. I don't think it ends quickly, but what the fuck do I know? Right? Brent candling. Yeah, one of the two. Tulip King said this in the chat. There's one of two. They think it ends really quickly, or they think it's going to take a very long time, and we don't have that much fucking oil. By the way, if you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, and you have takes and you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. But wow, this is bad. US. Let's see. Nvidia retracing. Everything's retracing. How are chemicals doing? No real reaction. Defense, no real reaction. SPY though. Threadguy, do you use Claude desktop? I run OpenClaw through my Telegram. Wow. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? Nothing yet. What did Bitcoin do? Not much. Hype, not much. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, Bitcoin's done pretty well as this is escalated here. We are going to have a electric afternoon stream, it seems, my friends. Wow. Or SPY 663. Ugh, it doesn't look good, dude. Not looking good. Where are we at in the daily? This is going to be an ugly daily candle. Already kind of lost this range. Let's get cleaner. Monthly. Yeah, look at this monthly chart on SPY. How about 12 days? Maybe gives us a little more info. There's just not really a clear level here. I mean, I don't know. Next level's 650. Could touch that today. You could touch that today, chat. You could touch that today. Yeah, I mean, I didn't finish what I was going to say here, but the math is just very... What's Calvin got to say? The math is very... He's not even posting yet. He hasn't seen it yet. The math is very not great on this strategic reserve because we just don't have that much. Let's finish it.
And so I think that it's very easy to get attracted to the headlines and the volatile oil price. But again, the structural thing that we are facing is deflation because of deportations, tariffs, AI, and robotics.
Yeah, and of course we get CPI and PCE readings this week, and this will be before any spike we've seen in energy prices. So we'll look at that according to your lines of thinking. At what point, though, if you have oil prices at these sustained levels, we know that funnels out into other parts of the economy. So at what point does that change, if it changes?
Well, if it's prolonged, right? If we end up going 6, 9, 12 months with really, really high oil prices.
I don't think it takes 6, 12, 9 months, guys.
Obviously, that'll have a very big impact. The other thing that's pretty interesting, though, is that the U.S. dependency on oil as a percent of production, right? So if you think of like how much energy do we need to consume from oil specifically in order to produce 1 unit of GDP, that has been going down over time. We're actually lower today than we were, let's say, in 2007, 2008. There's some good.
I learned that the U.S. is actually very well positioned to produce oil.
Research has been put out about that. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not dependent on it at all, but I do think that people are still caught on this idea that if oil prices go higher, then immediately we get, higher consumer inflation. And I just don't see that happening in the economy.
All right, so let's put it all together. We've got a war in Iran. We've got a spike, at least for now, 8-day spike in energy prices. We've got AI disruption concerns. We've got cracks in private credit, and we have a weaker jobs report. How do you invest right now?
Buy Bitcoin.
Okay, Anthony Palm.
I don't hate it. I don't think good job, Pump. Wow. It's Basics and Z tweeting. Wow, 662. Where are we at? Brent, kind of candling. Crude on Hyperliquid is still negative funding. It's 103 right now. Palantir lost it completely. Ugh, ugly. Nvidia lost it completely. Adobe lost it completely. Apple kind of fighting here, but wow. All right, what do we got for news? There's got to be some good posts about this. Here. Portugal's Mirando. Key to keep some oil reserves. Oil reserves there for when supply is low. What else? Try to find news. TG holding any drone defense stock or leverage position? No, no drones. Yeah, there hasn't really been any comments on this. Global coordinate bailout coming. They're about to print more oil. They already take action to stabilize markets. What does this mean? Yeah, there's just like no posts. There's no one said anything. Ready to use strategic oil reserve to stabilize the market, but they don't want to do it yet. Oh, okay, this is France. So France is down and nobody else. Okay, who is in G7? France, US, Germany, Italy, Japan, Canada, UK. Got it. So France is down. And nobody else is down. Minister of the Economy, France. So he's down. Nobody else wants to do it. Interesting. Yeah, not there yet. Well, guys, we got a little wrinkle in the system here. We have a little wrinkle in the system here. And no posts on the TL yet. Let's see how Bitcoin's reacting. Decent. Gold actually candling red on that. I heard this take yesterday, which is like, people buy gold when they think they're going to be scared in the future, and people sell gold when they're scared right now. And it seems that people are scared right now on gold. But this resilient ass asset is holding up. Yeah, this is an electric morning, my friends. What was that I just saw? This is an electric morning. Was that Citrini? Yeah. When people are worried about the future, they buy gold, and people are worried about the present, they sell gold. Dad, would you ever like day trade these markets? I mean, this is probably like if you want to swing vol, this is like the greatest market ever for you. Just whipsaw both directions. Oh, this is cool. It's tough though trading these headlines because you could just get Trump fuckery at any moment, right? He makes some announcement. You get a G7 announcement. It's not even real. The G7 oil thing from last night, you're long crude and you just get destroyed. But I'm long oil right now on a short time horizon, probably. We'll see what happens. I suspect Iran has struck a deal. I don't know if that's true. Okay, what else do I have here that I wanted to show you? Iran moving a lot of oil through Hormuz. So China is getting through. China also has 1.2 billion barrels. They have as much as all of G7. So China's good. Yeah, and then this, which feels significant. Oil doesn't even come out of Hormuz is stopping because of the attacks in Iraq. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, this is fucking beautiful, guys. I don't know what else to say. This is back above 70, and this is pretty biblical. I'm not gonna lie. Seriously, I mean, yeah. I'm shocked that Bitcoin is trading like this right now. I truly am. Because look at gold. I'm shocked that this is what we're seeing right now. Petro Bitcoin is hilarious. Look at hype. Where's Flood? Wow, Bitcoin is actually acting as a geopolitical hedge. Oh, look at Per, the hype dat. Oh my God. It is probably sending, right? Yeah, nice. Capital Flows is my guy. Yeah, guys, this is significant. We got to get out of this range, though. We got to get above like 71, 72 before you could really feel anything. Back above 72 with volume, and it is interesting. Beauty. Imagine you're trying to escape any of the places recently bombed. You have the choice between taking heavy gold with you, making your journey much harder and much more dangerous, or simply a bunch of words. So have a note with your seed phrase. One is infinitely better. I can't say I disagree. Wow. Where's SPY? 663. Not good. Impressive stuff. Gold red, SPY red, geopolitical unrest up, and ooh, Walter Bloomberg headline. Iran warns of $200 oil. The Iranian military spokesperson said oil could hit $200 a barrel if U.S. This is like a threat, isn't this? And Israeli strikes on its energy infra continue. Recent attacks, including Israel hitting Tehran refinery storage tanks, forced Iran to cut fuel allowances. Since the conflict began, Iran and its proxies have targeted oil facilities in Saudi, Iraq, Kuwait, reducing regional output. Another stream later, of course, brother. We're about to wrap here in a second. Quick little morning market open. What an electric one it was. Okay, this is how we're ending. We'll have some more vol tonight. We'll be later today. In the afternoon, we'll be here for close, but IGV software ETF red down 1.5. SPY holding on by a thread down 1.3 is pretty ugly. Q's down 1%. The Dow's down 1.6. Palantir defenses got hit pretty bad. Everything energy green. Brent here trading at 99, but yeah, looks about right. Nvidia flat. Yeah, coming back. Look at that. Nvidia coming back and everything else is basically crushed. Let's see on this last HIM's up 41. It's crazy. Circle's green, Figma's green, Strategy's green. Everything else in the gutter. And our obvious big headline here was this last night. G7 and them announcing we're not ready yet to do it. Market candled on that a little bit. Nothing crazy. Let's see. Greek operated tanker with 1 million barrels of oil loaded in Saudi. Sails through Strait of Hormuz. Wow. That feels significant. Four Iranian supertankers arrive in waters near Singapore with 8 million barrels of oil after leaving Iran February 28th. Feel like this is interesting too. This messaging here is interesting. Iran warns $200 a barrel. This is sort of like, guys, just please stop. Is what that feels like. Okay, this was before the war, February 28th. Yeah, you're right. This to me feels like, guys, please stop. Please stop. We don't want this. This doesn't feel like, this is like a threat. This isn't like a an offer. Now let's see where we close on Bitcoin before I get off. Wow. Would you fucking look at that? Would you look at that, guys? That is sensational. Truly is. Sight to behold. It's a sight to behold. Really, it is. Even if this is it and we just back to 65, more pain, it's pretty how this thing is moving. I must admit. Oh my god. I can't believe I posted my Telegram yesterday to long hype and I didn't do it. Oh, I'd VIX to your watch list is right here. VIX is down too. I posted at long hype in my fucking Telegram and I didn't do it. By the way, morning crowd. I'm not. Is anyone new here? First chatter in the morning that hasn't chatted yet? Anyone new here in the morning crowd? I will. Yeah, I'll be back later. Moncock Maxi, what's good? I have a Telegram that I gatekeep to stream viewers only, and I'm pretty active in there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very active in it. It's the best place to find me. If you're like a real deal, you really rock with us, and you want to watch every stream, I would recommend joining. Yeah, I'll throw it on YouTube as well. Y'all deserve it. Because what a fucking morning. Honestly, it's a good morning. It's a crazy one. It's a good one. Look at Hyperliquid go. Look at the thing go. Oh my god, it's a monster. Okay, cool. Welcome to the pit if you just joined. This is where we're signing off. SPY fighting for its life. Palantir looking to come back a little bit. Bitcoin, beautiful. Hype, beautiful. Brent, 99, CL, 102.50 and candling. And that is where we are at for Monday, March 9th. Market open. And wow, it was a fun one. All right.